May Day was a win for workers in Missouri. 6 months after voters approved Prop A at the ballot box, employees earned up to a week of paid leave at their jobs across the Show Me State. The Supreme Court also upholding those newly established rights, just as legislators continue looking for ways to weaken them in Jefferson City. Joining us now is Richard Von Glahn with Jobs for Justice in Missouri. Good to have you with us. I know you helped to bring this ballot question to voters across the finish line. What's your reaction to the court fight itself and the ultimate decision?
Yeah, I think it was completely inappropriate for business groups to seek to use the court to overturn the will of Missouri voters, and I think the court unanimously agreed, found that the summary statement was very clear and explicit, and voters knew what they were voting for and rejected those claims.
I'm no political strategist, but I can look at numbers that say 58%, almost 58% of voters approve of something like this. So what is the political risk that legislators take now in trying to undermine or alter it?
Yeah, I think a lot of people believe that legislators should listen to their voters. And even people who maybe didn't vote for an idea still understand that the majority should win. And so when you see legislators come back and really undermine the will of voters and attack voters, that really breeds the sort of cynicism and contempt that voters have for politicians. So I think politicians should be very cautious about doing that.
I wonder if that behavior will only change once politicians start to lose elections and feel the result. There seems to be a confidence that they won't. I don't know how you would react to that. But just for a lot of our viewers who ask this question, wait a minute, I thought we just voted on this. How can lawmakers go back and do it differently? There's two tracks, right? Voters can approve something in the Constitution, or they can write laws themselves at the ballot box. And that's what happened here.
Yeah.
So lawmakers can come back and update those laws, essentially.
Yeah, Proposition A was a statutory change. We've heard politicians for a number of years say that they don't like it when Missourians amend the Constitution. They say they would much prefer for voters to do statutory changes and that they would respect those votes. And so here we are, where voters overwhelmingly vote on a statute change. And what does the legislature do? They go right back on their word and seek to undermine what voters pass.
There are some industries that are a higher share of their balance sheet is labor, and so this affects them more than some others. Like some industries rely heavier on labor and workers. Like say the restaurant association, they're really lobbying hard here to try to change this. Is there some reasonable middle ground that provides them a different path here, or because as this debate goes on, what do you expect to see come out of Jefferson City?
Yeah, I mean, for industries that rely so heavily on labor, well, you want that labor force to be productive, you want them to be safe, and you want them to be healthy. You don't want workers coming to work not feeling their best because they're not going to be productive.
That's the paid leave portion.
That's the paid sick time. We've actually found states that have implemented paid sick time. There's a great decrease in worker compensation claims, a real savings to business. If you invest ahead of time and say, we want our workers, to be healthy, to be safe at work, that makes us a more productive workforce. So I see that as particularly beneficial to those industries.
And when you see some entrepreneurs, business owners coming to the public square and saying, if you do this, you might put us out of business or slow our expansion, cost job creation, you say to them what?
So first, there's an exemption in the law for businesses that make less than $500,000 in sales. So in a given year. So an entrepreneur that's starting something new, there is an exemption for them and they can move that forward.
But a small business who does $3 million a year?
Sure. I mean, what we've seen is in 15 states that have already done this, that those businesses continue to thrive and do well. We believe that workers are really what drive the economy. And so when workers do well, when they have some more economic security, when they have money in their paychecks, they turn around and they spend that money right back at those local businesses. And that drives our entire economy forward.
I think I heard our former president say not top down, but bottom up. Richard Von Glahn, I wish we had more time, but thank you for joining us.
Yeah, thank you.